Hello, the subject is marketing management. The topic is event management. Event management is a new kind of marketing and a business that has evolved recent past, and this has become a beneficial concept for many organizations to involve in their marketing strategies. Events do help organizations to better market their products and services, and this becomes a huge arena for reaching a wider audience at single point. Event management is a kind of concept wherein the organizations manages lot many events, and through these events the organizations gets benefited while organizing seminars, conferences, fests and exhibitions relating to their products or service offer. And the one single point view of, or the one single goal of event management is to facilitate promotion of the organization's product and services, and thus through this event management the organizations do get benefited in their sales and its volume of sales, as well as face-to-face contact with the customers in the market, thus able to target and find sometimes the service and the taste and preferences of the individual customers of that particular market in a easier manner. Let us see, what does event management mean? Event management is the application of project management to the creation and development of small or large scale personal or corporate events such as festivals, conferences, ceremonies, weddings, formal parties, concerts, or conventions. It involves studying the brand, identifying its target audience, devising the event concept, and coordinating the technical aspects before actually launching the event. The event is an individual organization itself. The individual events are having individual characteristic features which are to be studied and planned accordingly, and how better the marketing department can organize the events. And thus, the launch of the event happens only after all the departments are coordinated well with the event concept, coordination, and technical aspects before the launching the event. This event do give better possibilities for the organization to strategize their marketing and promotional activities. The definition of event management goes this way. Wiki defines event management as the application of project management to the creation and development of large-scale events. It involves studying the brand, identifying the target audience, devising the event concept, planning the logistics, and coordinating the technical aspects before actually launching the event. It is similar to the meaning that we have studied, and there is much of things happening in events, but it is almost like an organization being at function for a different purpose. Dr. J. Goldblatt defines an event as a unique moment in time celebrated with ceremony and ritual to satisfy specific needs. Though these events are organized and celebrated for specific events or specific memories or to specify needs, these events do favor the organizations to get better from them. These events do favor the organizations in better launching their products, in better establishing the product in the minds of the audience. Let us see what are the objectives of event management. The objectives of event management are many, but these are few which are listed below. The objectives are thus specific, measurable, agreed, realistic, and timed. As we have already said, each event is an individual concept in its own, and every individual event in itself is an organization alike, specific to the particular event and particular aspects of it. The individual events have to be designed on its own accord, and each one of it has its own characteristic features and possibilities. The second objective of event management is that it is measurable. Measurable expresses the objectives in numbers and quantities, wherein the event management has to study and give a report in numbers, only in numbers, that is quantifiable data. How many should be, how many chairs should be, how many lights should be, how many speakers should be, how many mics should be, how many plates should be, how many tumblers should be. All those things should be in numbers. Only then the event would be successful. Hence, the objective of the event management is to tell the numbers and its quantities. All those things expressed in event management should be in measurable terms, thus making it an objective successful. The next objective of event management is agreed. Make sure all team members know the objectives. Event management is one thing, and running an event is one important concept which cannot be run by an individual person. It requires a team effort, and all the team members in the team should be knowing what is the objective of the event, thus being connected. If the audience has to be reached well, then the team members should function in such coordination and cooperation so that the desired results can be reaped in. The team members should be in concern, and they should all be consulted with the process and progress of the event, thus making the event successful. If the event is to be a showcase event, if the event is going to be some kind of a business one, if the event is based on the product commercial, then these objectives should be clearly known for, and it should be clearly explained to the team members so that nobody is kept away from the understanding of the event, why it is being conducted and how it has to be conducted is also should be conveyed to the team members so that any flaw would lead to the failure of the event, costing the companies and the organization's financial structure. Thus, all the members should be agreed, and they should all be treated as leaders in events. The next objective of event management is it should be realistic. The objective set the organizing team can realistically achieve. The objectives that is set to achieve in the events are to be set in such a way that it should be realistic. Only if it is realistic, those objectives can be easily met, those goals can be easily achieved, those targets can be easily shot. The Department of Marketing and the event management team should focus, and they should set a goal such way that they should set an objective in such way that the organizing team can easily achieve the above set goal or objective. Hence, the organization should set an objective of realistic base in event management. And the event has to have an objective of time. which is set as timescale for achievement of the objective. There has to be a particular time for the event to happen. There has to be a particular time for the event to begin. There has to be a particular time for the event to close. And this, within the time frame, the objective has to be reached. If the time is not set and if the time is not obeyed as planned, then it would lead to the object's failure. Thus, the organization should have all these objectives in managing the event. Hence, these are the objectives of event management. Next up, we'll see what are the functions of event management. The functions of event management are under the heads concept, coordination, control, culmination, and closeout. Normally, the event management takes into the activities of the management itself, that is planning, organizing, staffing, and directing and controlling. But apart from that, any pure management of event should focus on these functions that are concept, coordination, control, culmination, and closeout. We'll see one by one how it has to be handled or how it has to be performed. First, the concept. The first step for planning a successful event is the event concept. Think about what the event will be held for. One of the best ways is to think about the greatest concerts ever held. Even if the event is not a concert, this gives an idea of how you want your event to make attendees feel. There is bound to be an event that you have attended that has created everlasting memories in your mind. This is what you want to do with your event. Think about why you are planning this event. What is the purpose of the event? You may wish to host an event to entertain others. Maybe the event is a fundraiser for charitable cause, or maybe this is a seminar to teach a particular subject. Once you have figured out the why, you want to figure out who the event is targeted to. You want to find your target audience who will enjoy and benefit the most from your event. This will help you determine the what of the event. This means that you will be able to determine what the event should consist of: speakers, performance, activities, catering, etc. And finally, how better the marketing strategy of the event can be done. Finally, you have to determine when the event will take place and what the best venue is for it. And the next function of the event management is coordination. We hope you know how to properly plan a schedule. The next step, once you have conceptualized your event, is to coordinate it. This will include coming up with a theme or general idea for the event. Once you find a theme, you will have a better idea for the venue, decorations, and many additional needs for the event, whether it is hiring a speaker, using audio or visual equipment, etc. You need to make sure you reserve dates and venue which is much in advance. Make sure you have flexibility with the dates and venue if you aren't able to find the perfect time and location at first. Once these are confirmed, you can start advertising the event to your potential attendees. There is also the step when you delegate tasks to your team members. Among these tasks will include reaching out to speakers, performers. Other tasks will include purchasing or renting the required technology and equipment. You may wish to ask your team members to coordinate transportation, catering, and marketing. You also want to sit down with an account officer or bookkeeper to decide the event budget. Make sure to check with the account or bookkeeper that no one is exceeding the budget, and this budget will help the organization to coordinate all the functions of the event in a better way. The next function of event is control. This is one of the most overlooked and often neglected stages of event management. This is best managed if you do run a run through of the event. You want to make sure everything is on track. Show up to the revenue, and you should be able to be in the venue and see if there is ample space for all of the confirmed attendees. You also need to see if there is ample space for the catering company to lay out the food. You also want to be on top of everything and plan for possible changes. For example, if a speaker were to cancel, do you have an alternative speaker? If the caterers have an issue, have you prepared a list of other options? Have you considered what to do if the budget is running low? Make sure to always consider what the worst case scenario will be so that you can always be on top of your event. The next function in event management is culmination. That is, this is the D-Day, so to speak. This is when the event takes place. On this day, you and your team need to be on top of everything. You want to develop an itinerary for everyone involved with the event. You want to make sure that the team has access to the venue before the event begins so that you can set up and possibly rehearse the event before it begins. As the event is progressing, you have to make sure the itinerary is continuously being followed. If one speaker is speaking, you have to make sure the second speaker is ready for their speech about the product or service that the company is going to offer. As the receptionist checking in guests, you want to make sure that the caterers are preparing the food and that it will be ready at the allotted time. In short, you need to always be alert at all times during the event to make the event successful. Closeout is the last function of the event management. Once the event successfully ends, there is still work to be done. You want to make sure that all payments and termination of contracts with the vendors, caterers, speakers, etc. are completed. You also want to give feedback to your team if they did great job. Let them know if there are any issues. Make sure they are addressed right away so that they can do a better job for your next event. Make sure you also ask them for feedback on how you fared as an event manager for the company and for the marketing as well. Finally, make sure you reach out to the speakers, performers, vendors, and caterers. Ask them if they enjoyed the event and what could be done better. You should also reach out to the attendees and ask them for feedback on the event. Feedback about the events will always help for the betterment of the event in future. So these are the overall functions that happen in event management, and along with that, there has to be functions of the management that also happens side by side, which are planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling of the event that has to flow in the process. Coming to the types of events, we have mega events, hallmark events, major events, and local events. Mega events with international appeal and true global reach typically fall into the categories of major or mega events. Such events have the potential to act as catalysts for local development and to deliver a range of economic, social, cultural, environmental, and other benefits associated with image, branding, and expansion of the visitor economy, just as this will help the company and the product to reach the world market. Hallmark events are the events with the distinctive quality of the program. Hallmark events are so identified with the spirit and soul of host community that they become synonymous with the name of the place and gain widespread recognition and awareness. Hallmark events are of special importance and attractiveness both for participants and visitors. They attract great attention of the public, contribute to the image of the destination, and maintain and revitalize the tradition classic. And hallmark events are always pushing to the next level. The events are identified with the very essence of the places and their citizens and bring huge number of audience to a strong sense of well-being and pride. The next type of event management is major events. Major event is a large-scale event with strong public interest and media coverage. Major events attract large number of visitors and help the organizers achieve good economic results. In practice of management of events, these events are often related to sports, international reputation, defined structure of competition, example Formula One Grand Prix, etc. And finally, we have local events. Local event is an event that is targeted mainly for local audience and staged primarily for their social fun and entertainment value. These events often produce a range of benefits including engendering pride in the community, strengthening a feeling of belonging, and creating a sense of place. They can also help with exposing people to new ideas, experiences, encouraging participation in sports and arts activities, and encouraging tolerance and diversity. So these are all the events available for the organization to use it as a platform for their marketing strategies and marketing events. While this is the ultimate goal of all the event management for the marketing department, companies and organizations can showcase and exhibit their products in events that are available widely all across the world. Hence, event marketing becomes prominent in this world. Event marketing is a strategy marketers use to promote their brand, product, or service with an in-person or real-time engagement. Sometimes these events can be online or offline, and companies can participate as hosts, participants, or sponsors. Marketers use both inbound and outbound event marketing strategies for promotional purposes, and all this event management is being done altogether by the company as a host or a sponsor by the organization which is focusing to promote the product in the competitive market. Hence, this has come to a new level of introduction of a new concept known as event marketing as well. It is all based on the concept called as event management. Thus, event management is favoring event marketing and helping and aiding the marketing process of all the companies suiting their marketing strategies. Thus, event management. Thanks for listening.